Live. We are coming to you from Cranberry, Pennsylvania, right outside of St. Ferdinand's Parish, right behind us here. And we are blessed with the presence of the new Deacon, Chris Baker. You will be ordained a priest, God willing, in a year.
Yes.
And what we've been doing on these Wednesday lives is just hearing stories on why people entered seminary, things that we don't know about, what goes on in different seminaries. And so outside in this beautiful, blistering sun, we're going to ask Deacon Chris just a simple question, which is why someone of your, stature and just all that you could have done with your life, why did you enter seminary?
Sure. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate you having me, first and foremost. Thanks for the coffee. This
Hey,
was
you're
essential
welcome.
to my life.
Yeah, we did just make
at
this.
this point
we
today.
did just make this.
No, so good question, and I think a question that I get to revisit and pray through, thankfully, fairly often. But so I'm an only child. I was raised in Newcastle, PA, and kind of came through school and grew up cradle Catholic, kind of going through the motions. But my parents had me altar serve and stuff like that. A big change in my life happened between the 8th grade and 9th grade year of my life. I went to a public school up through 8th grade, Union area, and had a bunch of friends and liked to play sports and stuff like that. And then we changed schools, or I changed schools and went to a Catholic high school up north. And so I left behind all my friends at the previous school who thought I was kind of growing up too soon on them and got upset with me. But anyway, different story for a different time. And and I went to a Catholic school, and what was huge at Kennedy Catholic in Hermitage, PA, was I had an amazing theology professor. He was a priest for the Diocese of Erie, Father Steve Schreiber. So that was one of the first huge influences on my life to check this out, this vocation. And I remember thinking as a sophomore, man, I wonder if the Lord's asking me to check this out. Yeah. And I said, absolutely not. And I kicked it as far down the road as I could possibly.
No way. No way.
Yeah. I was like, out of my sight. So I didn't really entertain that notion very much again until way down the line. But I was still very engaged in my faith through high school. It was super important to me. And I was taking in all that I could, all that was offered to me from the local church as well as through high school and stuff like that. Just a lot of different opportunities, a lot of youth things. And so I grew my relationship with Jesus a lot in my high school years. Fast forward, I went to the University of Pittsburgh, which is an amazing, beautiful place.
Beautiful place.
Beautiful, wonderful place.
Shout out to the Oratory.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Great place. Shout out to the Oratory.
So good, so good. Go Pitt, go Pitt. Early on in my college career, I didn't have friends that were like, hey, come to the Newman Center. Yeah. So really, honestly, I unfortunately, but it's part of my story, I fell away pretty wholesale from the faith in my early college years and throughout the entirety of college. Didn't make my way down to the beautiful oratory that you've referenced, But the Lord held on. He held on to me for dear life, for my life, And one of my best friends, Isaac, actually had me work Catholic Heart Work Camp after I graduated senior year. Yeah. And that was like a huge drawback to the faith. And I was still kind of fumbling my way through it as a young adult. I was working, and honestly, I was living a lifestyle that still wasn't really in accord with what God wanted me to do and what the church really asks of us. But I was going to confession on the weekends and going to Mass on Sundays. That was really huge. So yeah, a lot of messing up during the week, sometimes on the weekends. Confession, though, the grace of the sacrament, and then the Blessed Sacrament, of course. But it took about 2 years after I graduated from school that I stumbled upon a men's group to join. And we got together every week and we studied Scripture, mainly the upcoming week's Gospel, which was huge. I had found a community that I could grow in, that I felt comfortable in. I remember the first meeting that I attended, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm home. I didn't even know I was
didn't know I was missing
this, and this is amazing. And I felt comfortable with the men. I felt like I wanted to grow with them. I felt like I wanted to be challenged by them and challenge them. And that was humongous. Right in fitting God's timing, he was like, hey, remember that thing we talked about that one time? And I was like, yes, I do. And so I said, listen here, Lord. I said, all right, fine. I'll tell you this. Because I thought about, my mind immediately jumped to like, if I heard this call again, the second time, and I live my life on my own terms thinking that, listen, I'm just going to do what I want to do and maybe what others expect me to do, and then I go meet him, I'm on my deathbed and I'm ready to meet him face to face, I'd be like, how do I meet him with a straight face? What do I say after knowing that I feel like he's maybe called me to this? I'd just be embarrassed. I might run away, you know? Anyway, so I was like, fine, Lord, fine. I will, I'll give you an inch here, and I'll check it out. I'll reach out to the vocations director, and I did, and he treated me to lunch a couple times. But once I made that decision in my heart at a men's group, I was like, wow, all the things that I was afraid of, all the things that had held me back about what I thought I wanted and what I thought I couldn't do anymore. I thought I couldn't drink fine coffee anymore. No, but really, I thought I wouldn't be able to go bike riding. I wouldn't be able to spend time with friends. I wouldn't be able to cook. I wouldn't be able to play sports. All the things that I really love to do. I thought they would be off the table. And I was like, the enemy, like, distracted me and discouraged me. But like, once I gave a significant moment of yes in my life to the Lord, I felt a great deal of peace and freedom, and really what became a great deal of joy that I hope I continue to live out of. And then I pursued it, and I've really continued to ride the wave of momentum of what that initial yes has meant for me. And like you said, I was ordained a deacon with your brother and all of our other classmates a little over 2 weeks ago, and this is an amazing thing. I've been baptizing children, preaching at masses, deaconing of the word, deaconing at the altar, and it's just been like, wow, God, like, I thought I had in mind what my life could look like and what I thought would be a really awesome life.
Really cool life,
And he's just like, you're so silly and small. Let me, like, so I'm feeling super blessed, and I'm so amazingly grateful. And I hope to continue to let that ride me through, you know, and I think it can.
I think I speak for the church when we just say we're happy to have you. We're excited to have you in the Pittsburgh area. I'm excited to see which parishes in the future are blessed with this great man. And so the fun question that we keep kind of coming back to is, what's something about seminary or in seminary that you don't think people understand, or how do we pull that curtain back a little bit, just to, like, hey, this is what we're going through, or here's what's whatever.
I can't give you everything, but I want to. Gosh, I want to give you everything right now.
We don't have that much time.
But here's a couple of things that I think are really funny. So, like, seminary is a boys' boarding school, and the entirety of the men who are actually boys will kind of find the lowest common denominator of maturity, and that's where it goes.
And that's where it goes.
And one way that this kind of manifests itself, which is a lot of fun for everybody, but imitating our formators and professors. And so, like, men get really good at their imitations of formators.
Imitate me as I imitate Christ.
Right? Exactly. Good. Right, exactly. So
St. Paul wasn't wrong.
No, and like, we love making scripture jokes and like liturgical jokes, like not to blaspheme or promote anything that would be scandalous. But I guess when you're swimming in the water, it's like, fun is an element that has to continue to be incorporated.
You have to laugh.
There's a fine line there, but you have to laugh, and you're going to ultimately, like who you are, it's going to shine through. So and that happens, and also men get on each other's nerves, shocker. But also we have a ton of joy.
I mean, some of the funniest stories are actually from like a convent where, like, the nuns are just driving each other bananas, right? But then you meet them and you're like, wow, that was the holiest person I've ever met.
Yes.
And then it's like, she's actually being driven insane
she's actually making fun of her sisters behind her right now.
Like, it's like, there is this humanity still. Like, okay, just because you're in seminary is like, it's a huge yes. But you're still a human, and like, you have to grow through that.
Absolutely. And if I could say one more thing on that, and dude, I don't want to hijack your thing, but don't let a priestly vocation, a religious vocation, run far away from you if the Lord's calling you to it, because you think that you have to be perfect, or whoever has to be perfect and pious and holy all the time, because the Lord is seeking to make you the fullest version, the best version of you, and that is going to be what His glory shines through most, and what attracts many others to Christ through you. So don't let little things get in the way, like don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good, and just allow God to have a little yes daily, so that, and practice that, so that when big moments of opportunity come by in your life, vocationally perhaps, that you can say yes. And the same for you, like, just because you got married doesn't mean you're not giving it back to God, and it doesn't mean life's over.
No,
exactly. So
there is this idea that we don't have to go deep into, but there is this idea of like, don't try to copy someone else's life. Like truly to like be you, to be truly you, is just doing what the Father wills you to do.
Yes.
And you don't know what that is until you say yes to lots of things, and just keep. So whether that's like yes to dates, yes to dating, yes to seminary, there just has to be motion in that yes, and then you have no comprehension of what your life can become. And I think we're all experiencing that in different ways in priesthood and marriage and other areas. But thanks for taking the time today out of a busy Wednesday. I'm sure the kids back at the school right now would love to be taking
pulverizing
your time, pulverizing you. So there's VBS right now, which is super fun, and we'll have you on soon. And
awesome.
Thanks for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you very much,
man,
Joe.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you.
We'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.